Our next speaker is someone very special to us. She's lived this experience herself. Allow me to tell you a bit more about her. Dot Delarosa. It took 3 years for Dot of San Antonio, Texas, to learn that the breathlessness, the dry cough, and the tightness in her chest weren't something she could shake off. At 41 years, she learned she had idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, a progressive and deadly lung disease with no known cause and no known cure. 18 months after diagnosis, Dot received a life-saving lung transplant. This experience compelled her to establish a pulmonary fibrosis support group and the only free interstitial lung disease clinic in the world. Dot is now a volunteer PFF ambassador who encourages other patients to consider transplantation and take advantage of available treatments. Kindly welcome with me, Dot Delarosa.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Thank you. Okay, thank you. Is that the first photo? I don't think that was the first photo. Can you just double check that, please? If it is, that's fine. But I don't think it is, but it is. Okay, perfect. I'm going to come down here so I can see my own photos, since I don't have, notes. So hi, thank y'all for coming. We're at the last of the conference. We're so excited that you guys are here, patient to patient, and everyone that has come for information. I'm here to just share my short story for those that have not heard. Who has not heard my story? Oh, just a couple. Oh, okay, everybody. Okay, good. So for those of you that already know my story, hopefully it'll be a little bit different. And you know that I've been trained to share my story in 60 seconds and 5 minutes and up to 2 hours. So I'm going to keep it real short and do a lot of show and tell. So it started off with a dry cough. At a very young age, I just, was healthy and well. And this progressive cough, like a lot of us that are patients and our family members know, it just got progressive. I had tightness of chest. I was like, I couldn't do normal things like before, like going to Sam's and pushing those carts. And my mom, would be way over there in front of me and look behind and say, what is wrong with you? I said, I can't breathe. She's like, oh, okay. So I knew something definitely was going on with me. And I didn't know what it was. I thought I was going to go to a doctor. He was going to give me some medications, antibiotics. I was going to be fine. Wrong. I ended up going to my doctor, and after 2 bouts of antibiotics, he said, Ms. Delarosa, you have some problems. You need to go to a pulmonologist. I'm like, what the heck is a pulmonologist? I didn't know what that was. I go, and back at that time, that was in 2008, carrying my big old x-ray. We weren't virtual at the time with the little CD that we can just conveniently carry. So here I was with my big x-ray. My pulmonologist looks at it, and he says, I'm sorry, Ms. Delarosa, you have 2 to 5 years to live. You need to go straight to the hospital. We need to do a lung biopsy. I'm like, you're crazy. I was supposed to come here. You're going to give me medication, and I was going to go home. And, of course, this is my first, meeting with my first pulmonologist. And so I thought about it, and he says, Ms. Delarosa, I've been in this business for 25 years. I promise you that I'm pretty sure that you have this terrible disease, idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, and usual interstitial pneumonia. And I thought about it. I said, well, like us females do. I said, look, I'm busy this weekend. This was a Thursday. Let me plan it out. I'll go on Monday. And he just looked at me very, didn't believe that I was going to go. He says, Ms. Delarosa, you don't have a lot of time. And I said, well, I came to the doctor. I wanted to know what was going on. I think I can afford a few days. I said, well, how long will this biopsy take? It'll just be 1 to 3 days. Lies. Ended up being 26 days. Of course, everybody is different, but I had complications. My lung collapsed twice. I had a kink in my tubing, and so on and so on. So if I was sick before I went to the hospital, I was really sick after. And so where I wasn't on oxygen, which I really needed, I went home with oxygen. 18 months later, I got my life-saving gift. It was drastic. It was dramatic. Continuously got worse. Ended up needing oxygen 24/7. My mama wheeling me around. I don't know if some of y'all saw my mama. We wheel her around now, but she was wheeling me around. And it was sad. I began to prepare for the worst, like all of us do. Started saying, okay, let me make as many memories as I can. A lot of you know me. Ooh, I'm going to get emotional here. Okay. A lot of you that know me, I take a lot of photos because I don't know if that's going to be the last photo that I take, and I want it to be the best one, you know. So I want to make sure to have, because we have a photographer here. If you go to my house, you'll see probably 10,000 photos, because I'm the type that doesn't believe in just taking them, I print them. I know, I'm loony. But you know what I do? I put them on a profile on my wall. My niece is here, Hannah. You go to my house, you see all these photos. They're like, why do you have, photos like this? You'll see this next. You can go ahead and go on to the next one. Just, you know. And I have that photo too, on my wall. Because not that I'm going to forget, but everyone that comes in is like, yeah, that's what you looked like before. So fast forward, thankfully I went to my transplant center. Thankfully I got evaluated. By the time, so my first pulmonologist, going into the hospital, 18 months, that my pulmonologist says, all right, Ms. Delarosa, it's time, you need to be referred for transplant. I said, okay, go to the transplant center. You know, they're real nice. The support is so important. You need your support system. You really, really, really need it. I needed some money. I needed to do a little bit of fundraising. My support was there. That's when you really know that you're loved. At your worst time, when you're desperate, that's when you know that you are really loved and cared for. So I'm so grateful that I was able to do the fundraising and raise the money that I needed to. Get referred to transplant, had all those things that he talked about. I'm just shaking my head like, yeah, I remember that. All those tests and that 24-hour test, you have to go home with it and all of that. But it was worth it because there were no other options. I remember my mom even saying, you know, please don't get a transplant, you're going to die. I said, Mom, I'm going to die anyway. I might as well go for whatever is there. And that's all that was there, especially in 2008. So thank God for the PFF that now at least we have something. Because when I was diagnosed in 2008, there was nothing. Utterly hopeless. But now we have hope. Fast forward, so I got the call. I was only listed for 4 days. I was listed on June 2nd, 2010 at my wonderful University Transplant Center. Say hi to one of our coordinators. And I got the call on the 6th of June, 4 days. I didn't get it that night, but I got it the next morning. People always ask me, Dot, you know, were you scared? I was like, no, I was like, I'm ready, let's go. I had nothing else to live for. I was just ready to go. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. If not, if I only survived one day, it would have been worth it for me. I'll tell you where I'm at in a minute. Some of you might know already, but it's beautiful. So I got my transplant, got my gift of life. This is 3 days. Go ahead and I don't have, am I supposed to have a clicker or y'all are doing it for me? Who didn't give me the clicker? Oh, it's because I got over here. I'm sorry. How do I use the clicker? Oh, there we go. I got it. So these are just a couple of things, antibiotics that I needed. I have every kind of, see, and where do I point it? It's not working for me. I might need some help. The green button. I'm pressing the green button. The green, yeah. This green button. You know, there's two, okay. So as the doctor showed his patient, this is what my lungs look like. What does it say there? On June 14. So I had I had a single. Who's single here? Had a single? All right. Got a double? Anybody have a double? So yeah, so this is my transplanted lung on the left, and this is my native lung on the right. As the doctor said, you can see the white and the fibrosis. My lungs were equally as bad by the time I was referred for transplant, but both of my lung capacities were, I think, 18%, well, total 18%. Very low, so I mean, by this close of a margin. So that's my scar. It's on the back. Someone was saying something. I need to, you know, go upside down and do some exercise and get my blood flowing. I'm like, get a single lung transplant, and you'll be upside down like this for a long while. It looks painful, but after that 26th day in the hospital, I couldn't feel a thing. That was worse. So I had to do a fundraiser. My mom had gifted me this Mustang convertible. I thought for sure I'm not going to need it. You know, I need to raise $26,000. You know, let's do a fundraiser. My mom's like, we'll do a toilet plate sale. I'm like, Mama, do you know how many toilet plate sales you're going to need to sell to raise the $26,000? She says, a lot. But it gave Mama something to do. Because, you know, our caregivers is what it's about. And even though we as patients are going through something, it's hard for us to see our loved ones see us go through something. So it's hard. So Mama started doing the fundraiser for the toilet plate sale. me and my family started selling raffle tickets for this Mustang convertible that, again, in my mind thought, never going to drive it again. We decided on the day of the fundraiser to do the raffle on the Mustang convertible. Mama said, no one's going to buy a raffle for $100. I said, maybe not. Not even a month later, we had sold over 200 tickets. And I was able to call the transplant team and say, I got the money. They're like, all right. They're like, did you rob a bank? I was like, no. I mean, they were kidding. But I didn't know that all the people that needed to fundraise, it's sad, they needed to fundraise, they gave up hope because it was just too much for them. So even though $26,000 is a lot, when you need to raise $60,000 or $100,000 or $200,000, you feel hopeless because you're sick, you can't work. Like my first insurance dropped me, said I had a pre-existing condition, but thankfully, you realize, and the people around you support you and they help you. Long story short, fast forward, the day of the chalupa plate sale, we do the raffle. The first person that had donated wrote me a note, and he said he could send me $1,000, and he said, Dot, this is to give you hope. And I was like, wow, and I knew we were going to raise the money. We raised all the money. The day of the raffle, my 83-year-old grandmother picks the winning ticket. It says Bill Vinyl, the same man that was the first one that gave the first $1,000. I call him. I want it to be legit. Say, Bill, you want, everyone's there waiting. I want to win it. My sister wanted to win it for her niece, for her daughters. Like, yeah, because again, in my mind, I'm never going to drive this Mustang again. That was a gift to me. Bill Vinyl, I call him. I say, hey, Bill, guess what? You won the car. And he's like, what? He says, wait a minute, let's talk about this, Dot. He says, I already have a car, and you're going to need one when you get better. And that was the moment that I just knew that I was going to get transplanted. So talk about fundraising. I realized that day just how much my community loved me. It's beautiful. So there it is. To this day, of course, I have Dot 67. 67 is when I got my lung transplant. I was born in 1967, so I feel it's like my literal second birth. I don't look like I'm having a good time, right? Nah. This is Dr. Nambiar. Because of my transplant, because of my life-saving gift, and I will share something that kind of the doctor mentioned, that first year, the best advice I can give to you, if you're going to get transplanted, if you've been transplanted, give yourself time to heal. Don't be in a hurry. I know we're in a hurry because we think, okay, I got to make memories. I got to do this. I got to do that. Give yourself time to heal. That's your first job. Heal. The rest will happen. Enjoy every memory with your loved ones. Enjoy every second. Mom and I celebrate every day. I had started, I'm sorry, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. So because of my diagnosis, I started a support group because I wanted to know, like you guys that are here today, I wanted to know everything I could about pulmonary fibrosis. And thank God for the PFF again. I call up Miss Leanne Storch Answers. I'm like, hey, I Googled y'all. Y'all were the only ones that had any type of material. I saw that you were selling some bracelets. You think I could have some? She says, yeah, they're like $3. Okay, send me 10. Send me whatever you got. And so she did, and that's how I started my support group, just that simple. And I don't even remember how I found these 5 little old ladies on oxygen and on their scooters, but we ended up going to a Chinese restaurant, and we just started from there. And we just started encouraging each other, and that's how it started. So fast forward, when I got my transplant, of course, I got sick. Gave myself time to heal. People started finding me in 2011. 2012, Dr. Nambiar, not knowing he was at my hospital, he says, hey, I heard you have this support group. I want to help you. I'm like, sure, come on. So since 2012, he has helped me to just be an influence to our community and to the world. And we've started a free clinic as well. That was one of our first ones. We have a hall that is donated to us, and we have respiratory therapists from our school, our college, our hospital and our school, because they're together. And they come in, they do the PFTs, just like a regular clinic. We ask them to bring their information on a CD-ROM, and we just do their this 6-minute walk, PFTs. We have respiratory therapists. They check their oxygen levels, then they come around and see Dr. Nambiar. It's wonderful. We've been doing it since 2014. We've been able to help a lot of people, and we started that because we didn't want money to be a factor. We wanted people to get the best quality care without having to pay for it. And we have been blessed to be able to do it since 2014. This is a memorial plaque at our support group. In memory of Beverly Evans. She was one of our first that also started, and we were like seven or eight. And she just wanted her name to be somewhere. She says, I just want my name to be somewhere. So every year we have a memorial, and unfortunately we add the names of the ones that have passed in our support group. But I'm grateful because you know what? One day my name too will be there, and I too will be remembered. That's our latest one, or one of our latest ones. You might see some of our people here, but we love them. It's an honor to be an ambassador for the Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation. It's just been an absolute joy. I get to share my story. I get to bring hope to people like you, like me, that needed so much help. My beautiful niece, and I say this because it's so important, because it doesn't just affect us, it affects I have nieces now, but just one bit too. But it affects the generations to come. This is my great niece. At that time, she was 10 years old. Whew. She had a STEM project, and she says, Aunt Di, you want to come to my science fair? I'm like, sure, not knowing that her title was Better Ways to Treat IPF at 10 years old. Talk about an influence. Talk about knowing that this terrible disease will go on and will be talked about, and awareness will be raised because of what she's seen me go through. Isn't that amazing? That it will continue on for generations to come. That's why we do what we do, isn't it? I said it yesterday, I'll say it again. That's my passion. Because of my life-saving gift, because of just being able to live, I had the great privilege of being a rider in 2018 with the Donate Life Rose Parade float. That was a ride of my life. They tell you, I'm like, what are you talking about? You're on that float, and there's millions of people, and you're like waving, and it was just beautiful. Because you know why? Because I was living because of my donor, and my donor and I were living together and living high off the hog on this float. We're like, hello, everybody. Yes, that's me parasailing. Shh, doctor, shh. Don't look away, look away. Why not? I wanted to, so I did. I've done it twice. There's me and Mom in Cabo. Mama just turned 75 this year. Yeah, I just love my mom. She's been my support. You know, we're supposed to take care of our kids, and Mama's been taking care of me, and I just take her wherever I can. That's at one of our support groups. Oh, my second niece. I said nieces. My little niece has been influenced, but this is my niece, Hannah. Hi, Hannah. She's here. She became a nurse at our transplant center, ICU transplant nurse, and has gone further on. I think she only was hired for like a year and a few months, and she's going further and is enrolled in the master's program at our school at University Health Science Center, San Antonio, to become a nurse practitioner. And she says, Aunt Dot, had I not been on the journey with you, I don't think I'd be a nurse today. So she wants to help people because of the way the nurses took care of me. Isn't that wonderful? It just takes a team, and my doctors took care of me. It's incredible. It's beautiful. Those are my wings. My boss from our transplant center, she's for my 9th year lung anniversary. She gifted me those wings. So yeah, it has been 9 years and 5 months that I've received my gift of life. Every day is an absolute gift. That's my transplant hospital. So yeah, my life is a blessing. It's an honor to serve. I just want to be an inspiration. I just want to give people hope. I want you to know that you're going to make it. Every day is a single gift. Don't take for granted, not one. Don't worry about, just enjoy your life and be at peace. If people try to disturb that peace, I can't have that around me. That anxiety level, I owe it to my organ donor, and I owe it to myself and this gift that has been given to me to just have as much peace as I can. And sometimes you have to be around, it's okay to not be around negative people, because you need that for your own peace, your own well-being. Because we have a gift. We have been gifted with this new set of lung, and I'm grateful for it. And so, just be at peace and be encouraged, and just share your story. I'm just like you. I don't do anything special, like, what's the secret sauce? I promise you, I just share my story. I share it to whoever is around that wants to listen. I just share my story everywhere I go, because I feel like I owe that to my organ donor, and I'm so grateful, for my life, my second chance at life. So I hope that you're encouraged today, and I just want to applaud y'all for coming. We see y'all in your oxygen tanks. We see the couples together, and man, it just touches my heart. And that's why I come up to you and I hug you, because we love you. You know, we love you and we care for you, and that's why the PFF, you know, cares so much to give you all this information, but also it's a time for us to hug each other and encourage each other and support each other. So thank you.